If you've ever looked at a fancy card and thought, yeah, that's not happening, don't worry, I've got you. In this Step It Up stamping video, we're going to start with a very easy card, and then you can step it up as much or as little as you want to have a card that will fit where your journey of card making is at. So let's have some fun and let's make something cute. We are going to start with the Outdoor Adventure Bundle. This is an online exclusive product from Stampin' Up. On the left, you can see the stamps. On the right, you can see the dies that coordinate with this stamp set. Together, they come as a bundle, and you'll save 10% if you order the bundle. But the thing that I really wanted to point out is that if you look at the trees, the deer, and the fox, you can see that they look not quite totally bold. Well, that's because this is a distinctive stamp set, and the distinctive stamp set does all of the shading for you. And you're going to see what I mean when we actually see the card. So let's do that. Let me move my camera over. And you can see our first card, which is also known as our Busy Bee card. This is the card for card makers or beginner stampers who don't have a lot of time and just want to make a card in a hurry. So this is the card I stamped. Very simple. Got a little envelope here. Let me move that out of the way. And we are starting with a Misty Moonlight card base. It's a little bit lighter than a Night of Navy card base. We're using Calypso Coral Matte, and then we're using a piece of cloud cover cardstock. That's the blue that we have in the background. And all I did was I stamped the deer in Early Espresso and then the trees in Mossy Meadow. Very simple card. Now, I did not want one of the sentiments that comes in this stamp. I was actually looking to send this as a note to a friend of mine who just happens to be a hunter. And so what I did is I used a different stamp set, beautiful motifs, but any stamp set would work here, including the Outdoor Adventure. There are some really cool sentiments in that stamp set. So I just wanted to make sure I referenced that. Now I'm going to bring in our Worker Bee card. This is the card that we did a little bit extra on. We stepped it up, and actually we stepped up from the Busy Bee to the Worker Bee quite a lot. I don't normally step it up quite this much on the Worker Bee, but I knew what I wanted, and this was it. We again have the Misty Moonlight cardstock, but I took another mat and I dry embossed that with the birch embossing folder. And that really gives that some really pretty background. Then we have cloud cover again, Calypso Coral again, cloud cover for the mountains, which, by the way, I just did with scissors. I just did kind of a zigzag pattern. And then I cut a circle using the 1 3/4 inch circle punch for, it could either be early morning sunrise, could be an evening sunset, or it could even be the moon. So, it just depends on what you want that to be. And then I stamped a lot of the trees, and I stamped on a separate piece of white cardstock. I stamped the trees in Mossy Meadow, and I stamped the deer in Early Espresso. Now, when I get to the Queen Bee card, I'm going to tell you where I think I made a mistake on this card, but we'll do that later. So then I just did a sheet of basic white. I used my scissors to cut this banner look to it and stamped just a note in Misty Moonlight. So it looks like a super difficult card, and I'll be honest with you, I think it is. I think for a Worker Bee card, this is more work than I would want to do because I had to fussy cut out the trees, the deer, the mountains. It was a lot of cutting. So if you don't have dies or a cut and emboss machine, if you don't have a die cutting machine, what I would probably do is the same thing, but you're not going to be able to do this background. And I'm not sure it really matters that much. You could do this look without having the embossed background, and I think you'd be okay. But for me, that birch wood just really adds a lot to this card. Don't you think? Okay. So now let's bring in our Queen Bee card. This is the card when it's kind of the over the top card, if you will. But this is very unique in my Step It Up stamping videos. I actually think that the Queen Bee card is almost easier than the Worker Bee card. So first of all, this is kind of a fun fold card in that we've got a half a sheet of cardstock for our card mat, but then our card also opens here, and this is cloud cover. This is one of those stamps that comes in the stamp set. I did a full banner this time. Let me put it down this way so you can see it, a full banner, and I also embossed the front of the cardstock. Now, this is quite a heavy card, and so I did this hopefully temporarily. Let me just very gently put my fingers in here. If you don't care that your card stands up, that's why I did it on this, because I like my cards to stand up. But if you don't care, then this could be almost like a fun fold. Does that make sense? So where the card actually opens up at the top. But I know there are a lot of people out there like me that really don't like it if your card can't stand up. You want to give a card where it stands up. I'm not going to bother putting that back on. I'll do that later. So that's all you would have to do is just add this to your half a sheet of cardstock, and then you'll have a card that stands up. And then I use cloud cover again, basic white, same colors as before. I still use the 1 3/4 circle punch, but this time everything, the mountains, 2 sets of mountains actually, the trees, the deer, those were all cut out using the dies. So that part of it was really super simple. And you can see the difference in how it looks. For one thing, the mountains have that really pretty stitching. Believe it or not, this card was much, much faster than this card because I had to fussy cut out everything. So even though this is a more stepped up card, especially with this opening flap here, this was actually the most difficult card, the Worker Bee, interestingly enough. But if you don't have a die cutting machine, then this card's perfect because you just fussy cut everything out. Now, let me tell you what I don't like about this card. And it's not really the card's fault. I'm going to go back and show you the dies one more time. And you can see how small the dies are, how small the trees are in this bundle. So for me, this is just me personally, I think where I have the deer, it's not the right size. So for me, the difference here is that if you look at the deer and you look at the die cut trees, they're off proportionately. The deer should be in the background more. So actually the deer should be smaller than the trees. So what I probably should have done is the tree should have been here, in the background, and then the deer should have probably been to the forefront. Does that make sense? But I had done all 3 cards and I went, okay. And then I looked back at it later. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I looked at it later. I thought something is off on that card. What is it? And it was that the deer should have actually been in front of the trees so that proportionately it was correct, because your larger image should always be in the front, not in the back. But you know what? The person I'm going to give this card to, they're not going to notice that. So we don't need to be that picky with our cards, right? This is still an absolutely gorgeous, in my opinion, card. And again, just one more time, I want to show you the difference it makes when you have the dies and the lovely detail that you get. And by the way, I really, really like the color combination on this card. You've got the Misty Moonlight. You've got the cloud cover, Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, and I think the white on the snow-capped mountains really brings a nice distinction and kind of breaks up this whole scene. So I really like that I did that. That was a last minute thought. And then the cloud cover again for the mountains. But I love this birch embossing folder. I think it really, I'm trying to get a good picture of that. I think it really makes a difference. So there you go. This was an interesting card to do. I don't usually make 3 cards that I really, really like and then look at it later and go, what's up on that card? But I decided to keep it because that's the way the stamp set is. So I decided to keep it that way. And I'm really glad I did because I think these cards are really pretty. So let me know in the comments below which one of these cards is your favorite. We've got the Busy Bee, the Worker Bee, and the Queen Bee, and which one you would be most likely to make and which one you would be most likely to get if you win the drawing. One last thing, don't forget that if you wanted to, you can put this on a half a sheet of cardstock so that your card actually stands up, because I know for some people that will be a problem, and it will stand up if I don't have it temporarily tacked on there. And let me know what you would do. Do you care if your cards stand up? I'd be really curious to know that. So there you go, my friends. Thank you for joining me for today's Step It Up stamping using the Outdoor Adventure stamp set. Have complete instructions for you if you need it for this card. And I'll be back next week with another Step It Up stamping. Bye.